And that's kind of what I was going to ask about that. So you have these limiting beliefs, you have these doubts, these fears, these emotions that are there. You're listening to other people to try to help you get out of it. How did you, was it external that really got you over the hump, or was it having a real conversation with yourself? What exactly happened to help you get through it?
It was another pain moment. Using the Tony Robbinism, right? People only change when they're having a moment of extreme pleasure or extreme pain. I kind of rode the ship down. The cobbler's son that had no shoes. Just being 100% transparent for all the people out there who might be listening, thinking, oh, he's succeeded now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I became extremely incongruent with myself. I kept shoving this stuff back down, and put myself about $50,000 in debt. Was not congruent and telling some of the key people in my life. And that, of course, impacted my relationship and some other things. And I remember it was another moment. I was sitting in my desk in about 2014 or so. And I was thinking to myself, 2013, I was thinking, you know what? I can help all these people. And I'm adding up all the money that I've made. I'm helping millionaires and all these people on the phone, and I'm adding up the amount of money I made. I made like less than $30,000 the first 6 months of the year. And I was 50 grand in debt. My son was just hitting college, and I was just inside my head, a conversational mess, and kind of broke down in tears and did all this stuff. And the brilliance of my NLP trainer, Matt James, came back in. And I remember being in a seminar, and he asked a rhetorical question for learning, which is, why are you people going to go home and not use this stuff for yourself? And I was the first one to raise my hand. I didn't realize at the time, but this is what came back. I was the first one to raise my hand because I had all the reasons why everybody was going to go home and not use this for themselves. And of course, the brain doesn't register the word not. So I was reinforcing how I was going to go home and not use this stuff on myself, right? And so in that moment, I just said, you know what, I have to find a way to help myself. And so I hit my moment of pain, and I put this program together for myself to fill that gap of the seminars, then coaching, and then what do you do when you're sitting at your desk all by yourself or whatever, and these negative thoughts come in about I can't do it or whatever. And what I found was that was the missing piece for me. So I literally spent the next 6 months. I gave myself an immersion course in emotional release, using timeline work. You'll hear different words for it: timeline therapy, timelining, mental emotional release, things like that. And I basically went back and just started to clear up all of these negative conversations in my head, letting my unconscious mind build some rapport with my unconscious mind, and just let everything go for about 6 months. And at the end of 2014, without even realizing, I hit my two big goals. I had a $10,000 a month in my coaching practice. And you got to keep in mind the average coach only makes about $44,000 a year. So I had a $10,000 a month, and I made over $100,000 that year without even realizing it. And that was within the 6 months of me sitting there, barely making 30, the first 6 months of that year. So this last 6 months, with this immersion of clearing up all these negative conversations and the emotional baggage that I had, I totally kind of blew the doors off my business without even realizing it. And it was all cleaning up my inner house. And the cobbler's son that had no shoes, he finally found that he was good enough to go buy some nice shoes for himself and had the money to do it. So
He found some shoes. I love it.
yeah.